Imagine a time when the world begins to fall apart, a time when even the gods cannot stop what's coming. This is Ragnarok, the end of everything. But in Norse mythology, the end is not sudden or unexpected. It is foretold through a series of omens, signs that cannot be ignored. The gods knew it was coming, but how could they prepare for the end of the world? The first sign of Ragnarok begins with the death of Balder, one of the most beloved gods of Asgard. Balder's beauty and light made him adored by all, but this was also why his death was so devastating. He had dreams of his death, and so his mother, Frigg, made everything in the world swear not to harm him, everything except one tiny thing, mistletoe. Loki, the trickster, saw this as his chance to cause chaos. He tricked Balder's brother, Hörder, into throwing a mistletoe spear at Balder, and it struck him down. The gods were shocked. Balder's death was more than just a tragedy. It was the first omen of Ragnarok, a sign that the world was headed toward destruction. With Balder gone, things only grew worse. The second sign of Ragnarok followed soon after, Fimbulwinter, a winter that would last for 3 whole years, without a single summer in between. The world would be covered in ice and snow, crops would fail, and people would fight for survival. The long winter would turn friends into enemies, brothers against brothers, families torn apart in the struggle to stay alive. Even the bonds of loyalty would be broken. This is the world that Fimbulwinter would bring, cold, dark, and desperate. The gods watched from Asgard, knowing that the final battle was drawing near. Odin, the king of the gods, could see the future. He knew what was coming, and though he was the most powerful god, he couldn't stop it. Odin understood that Ragnarok was not just a battle, it was fate, and fate, in Norse mythology, cannot be changed. But that didn't mean Odin wouldn't fight. He prepared his army, the Einherjar, warriors who had died bravely in battle and now lived in Valhalla, waiting for this moment. Odin knew his enemies well. Fenrir, the giant wolf, would break free from his chains. Jormungandr, the world serpent, would rise from the depths of the ocean. And worst of all, Loki, the god of mischief and betrayal, would lead the giants against the gods. Loki, once a companion of the gods, had always been unpredictable, but his betrayal during Ragnarok was beyond anything the gods could have imagined. After causing Balder's death, Loki was punished, bound in a cave with the serpent's venom dripping onto his face. But even this could not stop him. When Ragnarok arrived, Loki escaped his prison and joined forces with the enemies of the gods. He captained the ship Naglfar, built from the nails of the dead, leading the giants to war against Asgard. Loki, once an ally, had become the gods' greatest enemy. At the plain of Vigrid, the final battle began. Gods and giants clashed, the earth shook, and the sky was torn apart. Odin, the All-Father, led his warriors into battle, but even he could not escape his fate. Odin faced Fenrir, the monstrous wolf. Despite his wisdom and strength, Odin was no match for Fenrir. In the end, the great wolf devoured him, just as the prophecy had foretold. Thor, the god of thunder, battled Jormungandr, the world serpent, whose body was so large it wrapped around the entire earth. Thor struck the serpent with his hammer, Mjolnir, killing it. But Jormungandr's poison filled the air, and Thor could only take 9 steps before he too collapsed, dead from the venom. With the deaths of Odin and Thor, the world itself began to fall apart. Mountains crumbled, the sea rose up, and fire raged across the land. Wolves swallowed the sun and the moon, plunging the world into eternal darkness. The earth sank beneath the ocean, and everything was destroyed. The world as it had been was no more. But even after all this destruction, there was still hope. Yggdrasil, the great tree that holds the 9 realms together, remained standing, and from its shelter, 2 humans, Leif and Lifthrasa, emerged. They were the last survivors, and they would begin the world anew. The cycle of destruction and creation had begun again. A new world would rise from the ashes of the old one, and life would start over. Even in the face of total destruction, the Norse believed that there was always a new beginning waiting to emerge. The gods knew their fate. They knew that Ragnarok was coming and that they could not stop it, but they faced it with courage. This is what made them heroes, not that they could win, but that they chose to fight anyway. In Norse mythology, fate is not something to be feared, but something to be accepted. Ragnarok isn't just the story of an ending, it's the story of a beginning. After the destruction, life starts again. It's a reminder that even when things seem dark, there is always a chance for renewal. And while the gods may have fallen, their bravery and their stories live on in the new world they helped to create. The gods knew their fate, and still they fought. Just as we must face our own challenges, knowing that life, like Ragnarok, is a cycle of endings and new beginnings. What do you think about Ragnarok and the idea of rebirth? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more mythological stories.